Warning, the following audio transmission is based on theory and is intended for entertainment purposes only. It's Doomsday and its affiliates will not be held liable for anything your dumbass does. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, everybody, to It's Doomsday podcast. Today is March 9th, 2026, and joining me, as always, is local prepper. What's going on? Just another day. War. It's another day. It's war for the people of Iran and Israel and everybody that's stuck in the middle of this conflict.
Yeah, they're catching, we're pitching. That's the way of the world.
It actually might inhibit our trip overseas this year.
Yeah, well...
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that, but yeah, stay out of Spain.
I had just asked my wife if she's been looking at tickets, and she goes, "Well, we might not go. It depends on this war." And I'm like, "Oh, really? Okay."
So you're going to get a vacation from your vacation?
If that's the way you want to look at it, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I want to go. War be damned. I want to go. I don't care.
Yeah,
I'm here for it. Anyway, so what do you know about the war in Iran?
Well, let's see. 47 years of attack on America. Just blowing stuff up. I think I know a lot about it. I ask me a more pointed question. I know a lot about it.
What caused the war?
Them trying to kill Americans all the time. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, that's going to be the America's geopolitical reference. They're going to say things like, "Oh, they had nuclear weapons. They were 10 seconds away from nuclear weapons," and the proof's in the pudding. And then people are going to scream bloody murder about, "We heard this about Iraq," and everybody's got a lot of different opinions. What I can tell you is that I spend a lot of time on the internet, and I see a lot of fake news coming out of Iran. I mean, the newest one I saw was a picture of an aircraft carrier that was on fire. And, the Iranians were claiming that they struck an aircraft carrier. And then you look at the picture, that's not even what it is. It's actually an LHA. It's an amphibious vessel that had a small fire on the top of it. They put it out with a helicopter, and it's just constant misinformation campaign coming out of Iran. I really wish that CENTCOM and the Department of War would share more video with us. I think it would make the American public feel really, really good. They have been showing some things, some pretty interesting things, actually. But
okay, let me interject for a second.
Okay, time's up.
All right,
go ahead.
So all right, when Russia and Ukraine started going at it, I got to see some really cool clips of the war floating around on social media.
Yeah.
Now, with this, I don't know what algorithm I stumbled into, but I am getting shit tons of content from Iran and the war. Like shit tons of video.
coming out of Iran?
I guess. I'm not sure where it's coming from, but it's just been, my feed has been nonstop with it. Like I've never seen just tons of missiles going off, tons of explosions, tons of buildings being demolished. It's like my primary algorithm has been clogged up with this.
Yeah, there is more Arab speaking language text in my in my stream than ever before.
Really?
It's they're absolutely flooding X, absolutely flooding Facebook, and just saying the most outlandish things. It doesn't really do them. I think they're pandering to their base in America to try and create something here. But it's not really sticking because, it's, I love they love to use, a like simulation, like video games, and show like drones flying into the ships. And then when you see the ship, it's like a battleship from the World War II. Airplanes flying, like 6 or 7 airplanes flying one at a time out of a tunnel. I actually saw a B-2 fly out of a tunnel after it kind of like the wing caught the edge, and then it just kind of bent its way out and then shot straight up into the sky. It's actually kind of pathetic from an American standard. It's pathetic.
Now, okay, so I want to circle back to a question I had in the beginning. I asked what causes the war, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you what I know, what I've been informed of, and you tell me if like it's just way off base or if it's kind of factual or whatever.
Okay.
All right. So when we ripped that guy out of Venezuela,
okay,
we also took control over the petroleum that's in that country for the most part.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right, now come to find out that they were supplying China with some of their oil that was going out of there. I forget what percentage of it, but it was a pretty high percent, is what I was informed of.
Okay, yeah, they've been known as selling oil to China.
Okay, so once we got that guy out of there and got him up to New York to face prosecution, we took control of the oil, and then the next, so we basically gave China the shaft and said, no, this is ours now, or you're not getting all of it, or whatever. Okay, so they knew the next target for fuel was going to be Iran. Iran's like the 3rd largest producer of petroleum in the world, right? And a bulk majority of their oil gets sent to China. All right. So I was kind of more or less informed that because Iran wasn't playing ball with this whole nuclear accord, like not having nuclear weapons, we don't want you to have them. And they're like, no, fuck you. We're going to do what we want.
Yeah.
Basically, we decided to step in, not just because of that, but also because of the oil. Because now we can gain control of that. And to kind of solidify that point, Trump did just offer up military escort for fuel tankers. So could that be, I mean, does that sound plausible? Does that sound on point? What do you think?
Yeah. This reminds me of, like in Star Trek where they got like that 3-level chess game, that 3D chess game.
I didn't watch Star Trek.
Well, the listeners have. But and so they're going to know what I'm talking about. But this sounds like somebody who's reasonably intelligent, but spends a lot of time drinking Pabst Blue Ribbon or malt liquor while they try to play 3D chess or chess. There's some geopolitical things that move like that. It's very logical to think that way. You know what I'm saying? I'm surprised you didn't say anything about Cuba. But
I haven't followed enough of what's going on down there to have an educated thought on it,
Yeah. Well, then you've okay. So we won't talk about Cuba. That's cool.
Okay, we'll talk about Cuba next week. But right now, I don't want to talk about Cuba.
Well, let me throw this at you, and then we won't talk about Cuba anymore. So the compound that Maduro was in that was so heavily guarded, it was all guarded by Cuban guards. So once again, we're playing 3D chess, right? So they're all interconnected in some way, shape of the axis of evil. George Bush 1 would have probably called this. I would be cautious with the numbers that get thrown out because only 20% of the world's oil comes out of the Gulf region.
Okay.
So use that number as a starting point for establishing common sense. The straits are technically closed right now. I just got done looking at one of the online websites you can go to track ships. It's closed. It was open yesterday. As far as U.S. offering escorts, they are offering escorts. But I also think that there's going to be a lot of coordination that has to take place, which is why nothing is moving. Everybody's anchored off on either the bottom on the west part of the U or the east part of the U. The Straits of Hormuz kind of is like almost more like an N than a U. It's like this. It's N shaped, like tiny, small N shaped. But I would. the level of uranium enrichment was way too high. They only need 20 to 30. No, they only need 19 to 22% to create nuclear power. They literally came to the negotiating table and said, "This is what we have. This is what we're doing with us. Doing with it. You can't stop us. Let's negotiate." This is, I hate to say this, and I'm probably going to make some people very mad, but Arabs in general, they're very different than the Shias and the Sunnis that we went up against in Iraq and Afghanistan. They're a very, 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 very proud people. They're the people that you see with the giant sabers. You know what I'm saying? Right. But they're just not very well educated. And I would say probably 60% of their population is very, very bubba, for lack of better words. But generally, they're good people. They don't want any of this stuff to happen. But when, I was telling somebody the other day, it's like, we're going to destroy America. You won't believe what we have. And it's all bluster. It's all talk, right? Right. There was actually some young kid holding a saber in the air. Come to us. We'll cover the desert with all of your blood. And I heard those exact words during the Persian Gulf War. And we're talking about 100 hours, and the Persian Gulf War was over. 100 hours on the ground, it was over with. And right. They've taken it to such a level now where the assets are, we keep hearing about the terms, the gloves are off. Right now, for the U.S. military, the gloves are so off. Inside of 12 hours. And I know this to be a fact because in a past life, I know what things look like. And I was watching some drone footage and I was like, wait a minute, that's a Predator. That's a Reaper drone. How are they flying those already inside of 12 hours?
Because they've been over there.
Well, no. They're very easy to shoot down. An Iranian anti-aircraft battery could shoot one down. An anti-aircraft, simple man-pad anti-aircraft missile could shoot one down. They fly very slow. They're very easy to hit. They got about a 60-foot wingspan, so you can spot them if you really, really look. They fly at about 10,000 feet, roughly. I'm not going to give away any secrets. That's Wikipedia information. But anybody who's in the know knows what their sensors look like. And inside of 12 hours, they were flying Reaper drones. So that means we had air superiority inside of 12 hours. We're on what, day 5 now? Nothing is happening. Anything that peaks out, anything gets turned on, it's destroyed on the spot. It's absolutely amazing the level of technology that has been completely unleashed. It's absolutely amazing what the United States government can do, or the military can actually do when it's given a mission and they're said and told, just go destroy everything that's military. There's no talking about it. It pops up, they go blow it up, no questions asked. You've got the Iranian Navy, which doesn't exist anymore. You got the ones that ran out into international waters and got sank by a submarine. There's actually 3 of them that got sank. One of their own submarines got sank. It's just there's nothing they can do to stop us. Now, why did this happen? I'm going to go with, everything's attached, right? Everything's connected. I'm going to go with the nuclear weapons. There was no reason to enrich. They came to the table and said, we're at 65%. That's enough for a dirty bomb. And then if you combine that with death to America, we were the big Satan, Israel's the little Satan. These guys have been pissing people off and killing people for over 40 years. So it doesn't surprise me in one little bit that we finally just, we got done playing a game of whack-a-mole and just blew up the entire video game. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think I probably went off on a little rant there, but
no, it was good, and yeah, I liked it. I give you gold star.
Gold star. You get my participation trophy in the mail?
Yeah, you will. I promise. But no, so I do have a couple more questions. Okay, so question 1 is, what do you think the potential is of China getting involved with this? Because that's something that's been kind of bebopping around in my mind, is that they might get some involvement or start something with us based on some things that just kind of things that I'm thinking and something that I've seen recently.
I think China has, obviously they want to continue to get their oil, which they may or may not get, because they're talking about regime change. They're not talking about nation building. So it's not about like taking over the entire country. It's all about putting the right people in the right places that will play nice with the region. They don't have to be American puppets.
If the new regime isn't playing ball with the U.S., they're going to get taken out too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And that's happened 3 times in the last 48 hours. So on day 1, they wipe out 40 of the top guys, to include the sheikh, right? Mm-hmm. The next day, they appoint a new Shah. He was targeted and killed within 24 hours. The third guy, they think he might be okay, but he's starting to act a little wacky, because what a lot of people don't understand about that part of the world is that religion and government are intertwined. They're actually written into the Quran that way. Okay. And then you've got the IRGC. Okay. So the IRGC is and I'll see if I get this right. It's the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. I don't know what the C is for. Okay. So they're the ones that caused all the problems in the 70s. They're the ones that they moved away from the westernization of Iran and made it more religious. Okay. So that's why these guys have all the money. They're not super troopers. They're just, their job is to promote the revolution. I'm using my quote fingers, even though the revolution was 40 years ago. Right. And then you have the regular standing army, and their job is to protect the country, border security, things like that. So they're 2 very different ideologically focused groups operating within Iran. So right now, the primary targets are the IRGC, and they're very religiously focused. The IRGC is under the direct control of the supreme leader, the Shah of whatever, okay? Whoever he is, whoever the next guy on the target list is. So what they want to do, what the U.S. government is trying to do is, it's not really about who's going to play nice with America. Okay, we can deal with people who hate our guts. All right, who don't believe that we believe certain. You know what I'm saying? We can deal with countries that are what they call black box countries, like Iran's a black box country, North Korea, Cuba. I think there's 1 or 2 more. There's only about 5 of them at any one time, but we can deal with that. That's not a big deal, right? But when we actually have somebody who is their main focus isn't just to destroy America, but to use proxies all over the Middle East to destabilize the Middle East, that's the kind of stuff that we're going to try and stop. So we want somebody in place who's not a religious fanatic. They're going to destroy all of the IRGC. Guarantee it. They'll leave the regular army standing so they can say, hey, listen, you've got an army to protect your country, but you're just not going to be lobbing drones and blowing people up just randomly anymore, So, and I'll be honest with you, I just went on another rant. What was your question?
The potential of China's involvement, which it sounds like it's kind of a gamble. And the other reason I was asking about that wasn't just the oil. It was, I don't know if you've seen recently in the media about their medical aid ship that has been floating around the world. My thought is...
No, I haven't heard anything about that.
Oh, okay. So this is great. You'll have to look into this. They kicked it out of Venezuela.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so China has outfitted a ship under guides of doing medical aid and providing free medical services, and just a big humanitarian effort in this battleship that's outfitted like a medical vessel. And they won't let officials board it. They have no way to keep medical records. It's a big mess. But it sounds to me more or less like they're wanting to get some intel, and they're just kind of bebopping around, wanting to see what's at the ports, wanting to see what's out there, and basically just sending information back is what it seems like.
100%. Every Chinese ship is an intelligence. Every Chinese ship is an intelligence gathering platform. Every single one of them. Everything is hooked to the Chinese government that way. That's just how they do business.
So it was really odd. I did a whole show covering it on the other show, and it was weird because when officials wanted the board, I mean, this ship is in their port, in their country, and they're denying access to the local government into the ship, and it's like, well, if you're treating our citizens, we need to know what our citizens are being treated with, this, that, the other. And they're like, nope, no can do. We're out of here. And then they'd leave.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's the thing. International law says that a governmentally flagged ship is considered that sovereign nation's property. So it's like when you get on that ship, if you're allowed to get on that ship, you literally just walked onto China. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like the U.S. embassies, same philosophy. So, and then that's why they would leave, because at a certain point the jig is up. But a lot of people also forgot about during, I want to say, the first or second year of Biden's administration, a lot of flagged Iranian vessels were turning off their trackers, and then they would show up in Venezuela. So, yeah, military vessels.
Right. Yeah. So very interesting. Not that long ago, today, actually, I saw a C-17 go over with an escort.
I believe it.
And, well, believe this, I pulled it up on the flight radar, and the C-17 was on there. It was on the radar. But the escorts were not. They were not on there.
Yeah, there's no reason. Okay. No reason.
Yeah, they technically weren't up there. Anyway, so the other question I have in regards to this crazy Iranian war, I think the burning question on everybody's mind is, how long is this going to go on? Like, are we looking at another 10-year war? Is this going to be over in a few months? Like, what are we looking at?
60 days.
60 days.
60 days.
From today.
No, not from today. So 60
from tomorrow.
55 days.
56 days.
Yeah. So, basically, I want to say it's Title 50 that governs the CIA and those types of operations. It's been kind of merged. The way they did this, they kind of merged that with Title 10, which governs military forces. And so they're operating on this really weird thing. And we keep hearing about the War Powers Act, but there are other laws that are in place that allow the president to do this. Now, I'm not saying that I'm supporting what he's doing. I am actually, but it's not part of this thing. He only has a certain amount of time to accomplish the mission. The faster they can do it, the better it's going to look, and honestly, the better it's going to be. 60 days. I think he's going to go to Congress prior to 60 days, and he's going to say, we have stopped all combat operations. We do have forces in the area, but we have stopped all combat operations. And because we have met the objectives, I don't think it's going to take long. I mean, it didn't take Iran more than 48 hours to find another guy for us to kill, right?
Right.
So I think at a certain point they'll figure it out. Going back to your question, I did want to answer you on China. I don't think China is going to be. I think some of the things that a lot of people aren't seeing is the United States of America and its military walked through Iran, went through their defenses, their anti everything forces like a hot knife through butter.
Right.
Well, 99% of the stuff that they have is Chinese and Russian. So China is not going to be like, yeah, we're tough, we're big, we're huge, we have 1 million man, we have a 1 billion man army. And that's great, man. You got any ships to bring them down there? Nope, sorry, you don't. Nope. Okay. Russia, S-200s, S-300s. We could shoot anything out of the side. Hypersonic. Walked right through it. And then China, the whole, you're going to hear about the Iranians, and Russia's going to be given hypersonic missiles to Iran. They're going to blow up an aircraft carrier. We've yet to see that happen. I would think that it would be in Iran's best interest on a war footing to destroy as many carriers as rapidly as possible to show their dominance in the area. But none of that has happened. So I don't see, I think the last thing I saw was Russia was saying that they were going to support Iran. If they had to, nuclear weapons would be used. So this is all bolster. This is all talk. They do this all the time. So I don't think we have to worry about the Russians. I don't think we have to, now that they know that we walk through their stuff, we shut. So yesterday, somehow magically, all of the power grid went down in Iran. Just happened. Just happened. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think what's happening with the big guys with nuclear weapons are figuring out that a lot of their stuff isn't as good as they think it is, and that maybe they need to step back and reevaluate what's going on. And they'll probably still try to support Iran in some way, shape, or form. It'll probably be almost all verbiage. But I don't expect us to get into any kind of conflict with another nuclear power.
Well, I mean, that's, I guess, fair enough. I mean, that answered my question, and now we're about out of time. But
now you know that.
Listen, I'm telling you, I guess I have the slightest concern that China is going to interject if we take big control over the petroleum export that's coming out of there, and they're not getting what they were. I look for conflict to arise. That's the thing that worries me.
Gotcha.
But anyway, we could next week, I guess, Cuba.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't like Cuba.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for coming in and tuning into the It's Doomsday podcast. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you back here next Monday for another exciting episode of the It's Doomsday podcast.
See ya.
This is an emergency action message. At approximately 1 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, NORAD is tracking 15 ICBM nuclear missiles inbound to the following cities: Orlando, Miami, Pittsburgh, Dover, Newark, Richland, Philadelphia, New York City, Baltimore, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Boston, Seattle, Detroit. This is an extremely deadly situation. Stay tuned. The next emergency message will be a presidential address.